The European Union's member states need to increase defense spending to keep pace with the threats facing the continent, its foreign policy chief has warned. She's completely right, even though I still have an objection, because she is saying that they should increase it to some certain extent, which is not even up to 2%. Because at this point in time, if Europe even increased their defense spending to 5%, is not that much. Russia's defense spending is 9% currently. Their GDP is, their defense spending is 9% of their GDP. And with what is happening in the world now, we see history repeating itself before our very eyes. It's not too much when a country like Europe is increasing their defense spending to 5%. Because if you're talking about 10%, it might be too much. But it will not be bad. Kaja Kallas, who served as Prime Minister of Estonia until July 2024, said every euro spent on school, healthcare and welfare was vulnerable. If the bloc didn't maintain strong defenses, US President Donald Trump was right to criticize Europe's spending, which sits at an average of 1.9%, she added. She also pointed to Russia spending 9% of its gross domestic product on defense and said Europe's expenditure was clearly not enough in light of the war in Ukraine. To prevent the war, we need to spend more. That is clear, she told BBC World Service's weekend program. Kallas said member states also need to work together to pressure Russia economically and hinted at a new sanctions package next month to mark 3 years of the war in Ukraine. The EU needs to be creative in terms of limiting Russia's ability to wage this war, she said, adding that pressurizing Russia President Vladimir Putin is the way to end this war because Putin is the one who started it. Before taking up the EU post last December, Kallas repeatedly called for higher levels of defense spending while she was serving as Estonia's first female prime minister. In February 2024, she said she warned NATO countries to increase defense spending to 3% of their GDP. Yes, the 3% she's suggesting is okay, but if they can make it up to 5%, it will go a long way in securing their territories. It will go a long way in modernizing their military equipment. It will go a long way in training their military personnel in order for them to have the modern day war experience. So the EU have a whole lot to do in this aspect. Increasing to that 3% is still okay, but 5% for a start will go a long way in for their self-belief, for them feeling that they have total control of their country, and for them being fully equipped, just in case of incapacity. Yes, but currently you see that the current EU leaders are not even thinking on that direction. In one quarters, you see that they say that if they are to increase it, they have to go to the pensions money and or increase pension money and all that. Yes, it is high time if the leaders in the EU leaders really wish well for their countries. It's high time for them to slash, at least let them be giving 5 or 10% of their monthly salary into that defense post. It will go a long way in increasing their defense spending and equipping their country for them to be fully equipped, military-wise, technology-wise, experience-wise, to protect their territory at large.